Hello, I'm Fred Miller, and this is yet another one of my lectures in song. This is part of what I do musically. It goes back to when I was a kid in Albuquerque studying classical piano, and then turning 13 the very day the Beatles arrived in America. And then that's my rock years, my teen years. And that ended with me hitchhiking from New Mexico with a friend to the Woodstock Festival. And that's the end of my pop music, my rock music phase. And then I settled in Greenwich Village, and soon after, someone gave me an album of Ella Fitzgerald singing Cole Porter, and here I am. The world of Gershwin, Porter, Kern, Rogers, Berlin, Fred Astaire, Ethel Merman, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, the whole wonderful era of American popular song. I was determined I was going to do this kind of music. And about 30 years ago, I started these lectures in song. I did 6 initially, and then it has grown now to 75 different lectures in song in 7 different categories. Go to my website, fredmillermusic.com, and you can read all about them. This program came about when someone approached me at one of my performances and said, she said in a very sort of forthright way, she said, "Can you maybe do a Brooklyn program?" I said, "You mean a New York program?" She says, "No, a Brooklyn program." And I thought about it, and I thought, well, I guess anything is possible. And it's true. In American popular music, anything is possible. Any topic, you can create a whole program out of the wealth and the riches of American popular song. And Brooklyn actually became easy. I wouldn't know how to do a Yonkers program or a Bronx program or even I have a New York program, a Manhattan program. But the Brooklyn program, very distinct here. I'm going to do a lot of quoting and referring to Brooklyn personalities. Thomas Wolfe, a great American writer, was a Brooklyn Heights resident, and he wrote in a book called Only the Dead Know Brooklyn. He's talking in Brooklynese here. He says, "There's no guy living that knows Brooklyn true and true, because it'd take a guy a lifetime just to find his way around this effing town." Walt Whitman, Brooklyn resident and early editor of the Brooklyn Eagle, famously declared, "From Brooklyn, I hear America singing." And here we're going to hear Brooklyn singing big time. First off, we're going to have to say, what goes together like bacon and eggs? There's salt and pepper. Brooklyn and the Dodgers, Brooklyn and cheesecake, Brooklyn and hot dogs, Brooklyn and, well, of course, all you have to do is look up, just like Frank Sinatra did in that movie, as a returning GI to his hometown. "Isn't she a beauty? Isn't she a queen? Nicest bridge that I have ever seen. Her paint's a little tattered where age has left its touch, till I guess I'll always love her very much. Like the folks you meet on, like to plant my feet on the Brooklyn Bridge. What a lovely view from heaven looks at you from the Brooklyn Bridge. I love to listen to the wind through her strings, the song that it sings for the town. Love to look up at the clouds in her hair, she's learned to wear like a crown. If you've been a rover, journeys and lies over the Brooklyn Bridge. Don't let no one tell you that I'm trying to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. Folks in Manhattan are sad, 'cause they look at her and wish they had the good old Brooklyn Bridge. Well, that's the attitude. Anyone not from Brooklyn, they have to be sad. Even Frank Sinatra, he had to settle for being from Hoboken, but they gave him the role. So we're here now to just travel through this place and ponder what all that homesickness is all about. There's the bridge, of course, and then there's walking along the Esplanade, the Grand Army Plaza, Long Meadow, Prospect Park, screaming in terror and glee at Steeplechase Park, and the thrilling memories of Ebbets Field in 1955 and the sting of abandonment in 1957 when them bums abandoned Brooklyn for LA. Jackie Robinson's landmark entry into baseball in 1947. I'm going to give you a little history here. My Dutch isn't so hot, but here the word is Breukelen, Breukelen, which means broken land. It was chartered in 1646, 7 years before that New Amsterdam place across the river. This is an interesting little tidbit, is the streets in Brooklyn do not line up because each of the 2 cities and 6 towns in Kings County were independent municipalities, and they purposely decided that they didn't want to line up with the adjoining roads in the other adjacent towns. So there's a little Brooklyn contrariness for you. The population of Brooklyn, believe it or not, it's the 4th largest city as of the last census, behind New York, LA, and just Chicago just beats it out for number 3, and Brooklyn's number 4, 2.6 million as of about 2020, whatever, 2016, something like that. Settled by the Dutch in 1636, General Lafayette laid the cornerstone of the first library in 1825, and among the throngs who came to see that was a young man named Walt Whitman. The bridge opened in 1883 to the booming of cannons and everything, and it was then the longest suspension bridge in the world. Al Capone was born there, and a number of distinguished fellows such as Meyer Lansky, Lucky Luciano, Albert Anastasia launched their distinguished careers there. But Brooklyn's done a lot better than hatching a lot of mobster careers. A lot of people have grown up here at Brooklyn, and actually you need look no further than that film where Frank Sinatra was called It Happened in Brooklyn, 1945. There's a personality there who, in that movie, who bears a unique physical landmark, almost as well known as the Brooklyn Bridge. And Julie Stein and Sammy Kahn wrote their tribute that I just sang to the bridge, and Cole Porter wrote this tribute to that other beloved monument. You're a rose, you're Inferno's dandy, you're the nose on the great Durante. Well, who was ever more New York or more vaudeville or more colorful or lovable than Brooklyn-born Jimmy the Schnoz Durante? I know a fella, he's a fella who will make your life so mellow. There's one like him in every town, he's half a man and half a clown. Oh, Briago could be mayor of New York or Chicago. Oh, Briago raised his cane from Portland, Maine to Santiago. When you worry, better send Briago in a hurry. He's got lots of time, that's all he spends his time. He never spends a dime. So when you feel low, better send for your friend Briago. Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. Oh, what a tune for crooning. Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. It's got the whole world spooning. Eskimo bells up in Iceland are ringing. They've made their own paradise land, singing a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-doo. Simply means ink-a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. Well, a few other Brooklyn-born names here. Funny man Woody Allen, even funnier man Mel Brooks, distinguished composer Aaron Copland, Legal Eagle Alan Dershowitz, actor Richard Dreyfuss, intellectual Clifton Fadiman, Rudy Giuliani, Michael Jordan, Larry King, Paul Mazursky, director, Carson McCullers, the writer, Mary Tyler Moore, Joan Rivers, Jerry Seinfeld, Betty Smith, the author of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and a girl named Ruby Stevens, who characterized herself as a tough broad from Brooklyn. She was better known as Barbara Stanwyck. Speaking of broads, there was a demure little thing born in Bushwick in 1893. Her name was Mary Jane, and she had parents with names like Batlin, Jack, and Matilda. Their last name was West. Mary Jane shortened it to May. And of course, that's who we're talking about, a Brooklyn born girl named Mae West. Frankie and Johnny were lovers. Lordy, how they could love. Swore to be true to each other, as true as the stars above. He was her man, but he'd done her wrong. Well, Flower, little queen of the May. She was born in Bushwick and a proper young lady. She grew up in Greenpoint in Williamsburg, and she was pure as snow, but as she said, she drifted. She never went far afield from Brooklyn, even though she went everywhere and became internationally famous. Her final resting place is in Cypress Hills. That's loyalty. We're going to go through all the various neighborhoods here, and you can scream in recognition as you hear it. It's a familiar theme. Well, it's no accident that TV's most famous Brooklyn character was a Bensonhurst bus driver named Ralph Cramden, and he was played by a Bed-Stuy guy named Jackie Gleason. And in fact, Ralph's address was 328 Chauncey. That's in Brooklyn. So there it was. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the organization RALPH, Ralph. It was founded in 1983 by two ex-Brooklynites who formed Ralph to try to raise money to buy Jackie Gleason, Ralph Cramden's bus driver's costume, and enshrine it. Ralph stands for Royal Association for the Longevity and Preservation of the Honeymooners. So anyway, we're going to wander. And so let's begin at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, where the musical On the Town begins. Actually, three young sailors are given leave for 24 hours. And that show marked the beginning of an illustrious Brooklynite career, that of Betty Comden, half of Comden and Green. And as Jackie Gleason would say, away we go. New York, New York, hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. The people right in the hole in the ground. New York, New York, it's a hell of a town. Well, if you're those three sailors, you want to see the whole place, so where you start. We're going to go neighborhood by neighborhood here. Bath Beach, Bay Ridge, Bed-Stuy, as mentioned, Jackie Gleason from there, Chris Rock, Richie Havens, and most notably, Lena Horne. Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky, stormy weather, since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time. Maybe I can't live to love you as long as I want to. Life isn't long enough, baby, but I can love you as long as I live. She was a groundbreaker. She was the first great black sex symbol, first great black movie star. She laid the conditions down that to Mr. Mayer at MGM that she wasn't going to play maids, and she never did. She would routinely steal movies just by having one scene, just her sitting there, standing there, looking gorgeous and singing like an angel here. Love can be a moment's madness. Love can be insane. Love can be a life of sadness and pain. Love can be a summer shower. Love can be the sun. Love can be two hearts that flower as one. It can be fine and free, but it's true, it doesn't always happen to you. Love can be a dying ember, love can be a flame. Love pledge in September may be dead in December. You may not even remember it came. No, love can be a joy forever or an empty name. Love is almost never, ever the same. Moving along, Bensonhurst. We already mentioned Ralph and Alice Cramden and Trixie and Ed Norton. Ball player Sandy Koufax, first of the Brooklyn Dodgers, later of LA. Went to New Utrecht High School in Bensonhurst. There's Bergen Beach, there's Burham Hill, Borough Park, Brighton Beach. Brighton Beach. You know, people think Neil Simon, Brighton Beach Memoirs. Well, he was actually from Manhattan. And also he wrote another play called Lost in Yonkers. But could be he just wanted to be like everyone else. He wanted to come from Brooklyn, too. Rogers and Hart here. Did a little travel log of that area of the world here. We'll take Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island, too. It's lovely going through the zoo. And other verses. We'll bathe at Brighton, the fish you'll frighten when you're in your bathing suit so thin. We'll make the shellfish grin, fin to fin. Traveling along Broadway Junction, Brooklyn Heights. Oh, Brooklyn Heights. Lots of writers. Harry Chapin grew up in Brooklyn Heights, as did Hart Crane, the poet who wrote The Bridge. W.H. Auden, Norman Mailer lived on Columbia Heights. I used to stay with a friend just a few doors down from where Norman lived. Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass, grew up in Brooklyn Heights. Truman Capote wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's in Brooklyn Heights. Thomas Wolfe, aforementioned, he was the king of the adjectives. Here he is describing Brooklyn. Brooklyn is, ready, a sad, brutal, provincial, lonesome, human, silent, sprawling, raucous, lost, passionate, subtle, bitter, immature, innocent, perverse, tender, mysterious place. A place where Crane and Whitman found poems, a mythical dominion against whose shore the Coney Island sea laps a wintry lament. There's Brownsville, Alfred Kazin, a literary critic, Mike Tyson, Jack Lawrence, lyricist, Broadway producer, composer, born Jacob Schwartz in Brownsville, later on moved to East New York, very prolific figure in Tin Pan Alley. If I didn't care more than words can say, if I didn't care, would I feel this way? And early Sinatra, all or nothing at all. Half a love never appealed to me. The evening breeze caressed the trees tenderly. The trembling trees embraced the breeze tenderly. All Jack Lawrence. When I go to sleep, I never count sheep. I count all the charms about Linda. Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sand and watches the ships that go sailing. Bushwick, well, that's Mae West's home turf. Canarsie, da-da-da-da-da, and fair Canarsie Lake. We'll view a little more Rogers and Hart travel log here. Carroll Gardens, City Line, Clinton Hill, Cobble Hill. We'll go to Coney and eat bologna on a roll. Through Central Park we'll stroll. Hold on, let's revise that. We'll go to Coney and eat bologna on a roll. Through Prospect Park we'll stroll, where our first kiss we stole, soul to soul, Coney Island. Goodbye, my Coney Island baby. Farewell, my own true lover. Love my honey, I'm gonna go away and leave you. Never to see you any, never gonna see you any. I'm gonna sail upon that ferry boat, never to return again. So goodbye, farewell, so long, forever. Boom, my Coney Island, my Coney Island. Goodbye, my Coney Island babe. Well, a few words about Coney Island. A legend and myths around it. It was an amusement park. Began as an aquatic circus performer named Paul Boynton, who set up 16 acres behind the Elephant Hotel and opened his Sea Lion Park in time for 4th of July, 1895. It was the first outdoor amusement park in the world, and it was the first one enclosed with an admission charge at the gate. The names, of course, of Coney Island are magical. It seemed like a perfect meeting place. Shoot the Chutes, Steeplechase, Luna Park, or you could meet me tonight in dreamland under the silvery moon. Meet me tonight in dreamland where love's sweet roses bloom. Come with a love light gleaming in your dear eyes of blue. Meet me in dreamland, sweet dreamy dreamland. There let my dreams come true. Let's meet on the road to Morocco instead of the tunnel of love. The desert night, the Arab tents, the harem atmosphere. It's the best attraction Coney Island has this year. Let's meet on the road to Morocco, though our Brooklyn moon shines above. I'll whisper how I love you to the strain of native flutes, and your arms will thrill me more than all the shoot the shoot. Tell the gang so they won't hang around. Just like Webster's dictionary, we're Morocco bound. Well, we're still Brooklyn bound, specifically Crown Heights, Cypress Hills, where Mae West is still pushing up daisies. Maybe out of respect, you could just go up and see her sometime. Ditmas Park, downtown Brooklyn. Dumbo, it's an acronym for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass. Dyker Heights, East Flatbush, East New York. Shirley Shrift, an actress, went to Thomas Jefferson High School. You know her better as Shelley Winters. Another Thomas Jefferson alum. Sidney Leibowitz, better known as Steve Lawrence. He was married to Manhattanite and Bronx denizen, Edie Gourmet, actually, and she was cousin to Brighton Beach's Neil Sedaka. So here we're going to do a quick family medley. Even 2 out of 3 are Brooklynites here. For Steve, I'll go it alone. That's how it must be. If I can be right for somebody else, if I'm not right for me, I gotta be free, I gotta be free, daring to try to do it or die, I gotta be me. A little nod to Edie, blame it on the bossa nova with its magic spell. Blame it on the bossa nova that he did so well. Neil Sedaka from Brighton Beach, don't take your love away from me. Don't you leave my heart in misery. If you go, then I'll be blue, 'cause breaking up is hard to do. David Daniel Kaminsky, better known as Danny Kaye, Brooklyn's own kid from Brooklyn, Walter Mitty dreamer. He attended PS 149, which is now named after him, then Thomas Jefferson High, and he was famous for his fast patter, and especially here's one that he names a whole bunch of Russian composers who I think at this point would be very happy in Brighton Beach. Without the least excuse or the slightest provocation, may I fondly introduce for your mental delectation the names that always give me brain concussion. The names of those composers known as Russian. There's Malachevsky, Rubinstein, Arensky, and Tchaikovsky, Tchaikovsky, Cherepkin, Kalinowski, Galdozi, Ante, Buchermoni, Usko, Angelmenko, Solovia, Prokofiev, Yoko, Korichenko, there's Klinka, Vinka, Boranatsky, Weber, Kavilinski, there's Bender, Balakalev, Zolotorov, Ankovitsky, Sokolov, and Kopolov, Dukelski, and Klinovsky, Shostakovich, Borodin, Glider, Novokovsky, Liatov, and Kaganov, Markevich, and Pachenko, Dava, Michi, Cherbachinsky, Yavan, Vasalenko, Lordvitsky, Vimsky, Korsika, Muzutsky, and Yuchanov, Glazanov, and Sizukov, Kalinikov, Rachmaninoff, Lubitsky, and Drachanov, Rumchitsky, and Romanov. I really have to stop. The subject has been rolled enough. Lubitsky, Drachanov, Rumchitsky, Rachmaninoff. I really have to stop because you all have undergone enough. Ooh. Which brings us to nice, sedate Flatbush, and all those Erasmus Hall alums, Bobby Fischer, the chess whiz, Neil Diamond, Bernard Malamud. And this is a little bit of Broadway history. One of the most important moments in Broadway history is in 1915, 16, 17. Jerome Kern and P.G. Wodehouse were writing what were called the Princess Theater musicals. The most successful of those was called Oh Boy, and this is one of the big hit songs of the time. Young George Gershwin and young Richard Rodgers said those Princess Theater musicals inspired them to go into the theater. And here's a song quite appropriate here. I always like the sort of song you hear so much today, called When It's Something or Other Time in Some Place Far Away. Oh, tulip time in Holland, a pleasant time must be, while summer's strong for apple blossom time in Normandy. But there's another time and place that makes a hit with me. Here it comes. When it's nesting time in Flatbush, we will take a little flat with a welcome on the mat, where there's room to swing a cat. I'll hang up my hat in our Flatbush flat. Life will be so sweet with you when it's nesting time in Flatbush Avenue. They write songs about everything. There's Flatlands, there's Fort Greene. Marianne Moore, the poet, lived in Fort Greene. Here are a whole list of places: Fort Hamilton, Fulton Ferry, Georgetown, Garrettson Beach, Gowanus, oh, I love that name, Gowanus, Gravesend, Greenpoint, Highland Park, Homecrest, Kensington, Manhattan Beach, Marina Park, Midwood, Mill Basin, New Lots, Ocean Hill, Ocean Parkway, Perdigat Basin, that's probably a Dutch word, Park Slope, Plum Beach, Prospect Heights, Prospect Leopard's Garden, Prospect Park South. Well, it makes sense to highlight a couple of brothers who lived in Prospect Park as boys and did their borough very, very proud indeed. The older one of them, born in 1896, and he had the bad taste to be born in the Lower East Side. But the next one, who came along in 1898, had the good sense to be born in Brooklyn, and Prospect Park was where George and Ira Gershwin grew up. Swanee, how I love ya, my dear old Swanee. I give the world to be among the folks in Dix, even though my mammy's waiting for me, praying for me down by the Swanee. The folks up north will see me no more when I get to that Swanee shore. Little sampling of Gershwin. Of course, they've got their own lecture and song. I got a crush on you, sweetie pie, all the day and night time. Hear me sigh, I never had the least notion that I could fall with so much emotion. Could you coo? Could you care for a cunning cottage? We could share, the world will pardon my mush, 'cause I have got a crush, my baby, on you. A little Gershwin here. Red Hook, Remsen Village, Rugby, Seagate. She was Belle Silverman at Seagate, Brooklyn, and at the City Opera, Covent Garden, La Scala, and the Met, she was Beverly Sills. Sheepshead Bay, Spring Creek, Sunset Park, Vinegar Hill, Williamsburg, well, Barry Allen Pincus, better known as Barry Manilow. At the Copacabana, hottest spot north of Havana, at the Copacabana. The passion were always the fashion at the Copa. He fell in love. Williamsburg as well, aside from Barry Manilow, both Alan King, the comic, and Arthur Miller, Pulitzer Prize winning author of Death of a Salesman, grew up there, Williamsburg. Windsor Terrace, Wingate, And I'm not sure what neighborhood he came from, but Mickey Rooney, Joel Yule Jr., was born in Brooklyn as well. One of the great, great talents, I think, of this whole golden age. Favorite Mickey Rooney moment with Judy Garland, not from Brooklyn, from Minnesota. When a girl meets boy, life can be a joy, but the note they end on will depend on little pleasures they can share. So let us compare. I like New York in June, how about you? I love a Gershwin tune, a Brooklyn Glory, how about you? I love a fireside when a storm is due. I like potato chips, moonlight, and motor trips, how about you? I'm mad about good books, can't get my fill, and Franklin Roosevelt's looks give me a thrill. Holding hands in the movie show when all the lights are low may not be new, but I like it. How about you? Well, I mentioned Betty Comden briefly. She had so many accomplishments alongside Manhattanite Adolph Green. It was the longest partnership in the theater, I think, ever. 50 plus years, maybe 60 some years as well. Screenplays for Good News and The Barclays of Broadway, and most notably Singing in the Rain. And on Broadway with Julie Stein, Bells Are Ringing. And as late as the 90s with Cy Coleman, Tony Award for Will Rogers Follies. Just in time, I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart the heart you sing to. One smile to cheer you. One face that lights when it's near you. One you're everything to. Fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. Where's the real stuff in life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you've found her, build your world around her. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy, and you will be happy too. Betty Comden. Well, half of another whole different male-female lyric writing partnership. This time was Brooklyn-born Alan Bergman, who with his wife Marilyn Keith Bergman wrote too many songs to mention, going back to the 1950s. Let's take it nice and easy. It's gonna be so easy for us to fall in love. Hey baby, what's your hurry? Relax now, don't you worry. We're gonna fall in love. We're on the road to romance, that's safe to say, but let's make all the stops along the way. The problem now, of course, is to simply hold your horses. To rush would be a crime, 'cause nice and easy does it. Nice and easy does it. Nice and easy does it every time. With Michel Legrand, starting in the 60s through the 80s, the greatest film songs of that era. If the hands of time were hands that I could hold, I'd keep them warm, and in my hands they'd not turn cold. Little boy lost, in search of little boy found. You go a-wandering, wandering, stumbling, tumbling round, round. What are you doing the rest of your life? North and south and east and west of your life. I have only one request of your life, that you spend it all with me. All the seasons and the times of your days, all the nickels and the dimes of your days, let the reasons and the rhymes of your days all begin and end with me. I want to see your face in every kind of light, in fields of dawn and forests of the night, and when you stand before the candles on a cake, oh, let me be the one to hear the silent wish you make. Those tomorrows waiting deep in your eyes, to the world of love you keep in your eyes, I'll awaken what's asleep in your eyes. It may take a kiss or two. Through all of my life, summer, winter, spring, and fall of my life, all I ever will recall of my life is all of my life with you. One of the nicest recordings of that was by an Erasmus Hall alum. She spelled her name with two A's instead of usually three. It was Barbara with two A's. And here we have the Bergmans were very close friends of hers and have been, and wrote a lot for her. Here's a double Brooklyn rating. The girl from Erasmus Hall singing Bergman lyrics here. Trees are so much taller, I feel so much smaller. Moon is twice as lonely and the stars are half as bright. Papa, how I love you. Papa, how I need you. Papa, how I miss you kissing me tonight. Again, lyrics by the Bergmans for Barbara Streisand. Music by Manhattanite Marvin Hamlisch. Memories like the colors of my mind, misty watered colored memories of the way we were, scattered pictures of the smile we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. That it was all so simple then, was time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we remember the way we were, the way we were. One more from Miss Erasmus Hall. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. I'll march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned out, you'll turn it back, sir. Leads it didn't fake it, hat, sir. Guess it didn't make it, but whether on the roads of sheer perfection or a freckle on the nose of life's complexion, the cinder or the shiny apple of my eye, I gotta fly once, I gotta try once, only can die once, right, sir? True love is juicy, juicy, and you see, I gotta have my bite, sir. Get ready for me, love, cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. I'm gonna live and live now, get what I want, I know how, all that the law will allow. One roll for target, and wham! One shot, one gunshot, and bam! Hey world, here I am. I'll march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned out, your turn it bad, sir. At least I didn't fake it, that sir. Guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me lunch, 'cause I'm a gunner. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Nobody, ain't nobody gonna rain on my parade. Oh, well, lots of Brooklynites. Two more, actually, two major composers. The guy named Harry Warren. I have a whole program on him. It's not a familiar name, but to anyone who appreciates movie music, there was nobody more successful than he. He was a film composer primarily. I don't think ever really worked on Broadway. He had more hits in the 1930s and the 40s, number one hits, than Irving Berlin. He was born Salvatore Guaragna, became in Brooklyn Heights, son of a Calabrian bootmaker, and made his way to Hollywood. And here, a few of his slightly familiar songs here. Meet those dancing feet on the song of the melody of 42nd Street. Come on along and listen to Lullaby of Broadway. Every kiss, every hug seems to act as like a drug. You're getting to be a diamond with me. All the stars out tonight. I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I only have eyes for you, dear. The leaves of brown came tumbling down. Remember that September in the rain. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Oh, you must have been a beautiful baby. Must have been a wonderful child. Pardon me, boy, is that the Chattanooga choo-choo? I got a gal in Kalamazoo. I had the craziest dream last night. Yes, I did. The more I see you, the more I want you. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. A love affair is a wondrous thing that will rejoice in remembering. That's just a few Harry Warren tunes here. Let's do one whole song. An Academy Award winner from 1943. You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know just how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't hide my love for you. You ought to know, for haven't I told you so 1,000,000 or more times? You went away and my heart went with you. I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is some other way to prove that I love you, I swear I don't know how. You'll never know if you don't know now. Have to tune into the whole Harry Warren program sometime. One more great composer, and that was Arthur Schwartz of Brooklyn. He was a lawyer who wanted to be in show business, and he teamed up with Howard Dietz, wrote all sorts of wonderful songs. I guess I'll have to change my plan. I should have realized to be another man. Oh, give me something to remember you by. Dancing in the dark till the tune ends. We're dancing in the dark. You and the night and the music fill me with flaming desire. I'll go my way by myself. This is the end of romance. It might be a fight like you see on the screen, a swain getting slain for the love of a queen. some great Shakespearean scene where a ghost and a prince meet, and everyone ends in mincemeat. The gag may be waving the flag that began with a Mr. Cohan hip hooray. The American way. The world is the stage is the world of entertainment. Two more short songs, and there is a musical theater version of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I think most of us remember the wonderful Elia Kazan movie with Dorothy McGuire and Peggy Ann Garner. The stage musical was not so successful. It was written by Arthur Schwartz and the great lyricist Dorothy Fields. And the main character is played by Shirley Booth, actually. And here she is recounting who her favorite husband was. If I ever saw a prince, my Harry was him. Always smelled from peppermint, his person was trim. His voice was passionate, soulful, his face was, he never took no liberties. He knew what his place was. You'll see that Brooklyn plays a part in this. He'd say, pardon my glove politely when he shook my hand. He passed the evening paper when his soup was fanned. He only used four-letter words I didn't understand. He had refinement. He would never sit down to eat without his shirt was on, or come out of the bathroom dripping like a dying swan, or call a visitor a slob till the slob was gone. He had refinement. One time he said, may I suggest you call a lady's chest a chest instead of her points of interest. Dainty, ain't he? He was shy and awful modest, he was so high-bred. When the wind blew up my bloomers, would his face get red? He undressed with all the lights off until we was wed. He had refinement. He would walk next to the gutter so I shouldn't get hit. With a pillow he'd kill a mosquito so I shouldn't get bit. Only certain kinds of exertions for me he'd permit. He had refinement. In the water at Coney Island was our first embrace, when my water wings flew off and hit him in the face. He introduced himself before he put them back in place. He had refinement. At Luna Park all night we sat. Our food got cold, our beer got flat. I knew what he was driving at. I could have forbid it, but I did it. He had such respect and feeling all our married life. Just the thought that maybe he'd hurt me cut him like a knife. So he never mentioned that he had another wife. He had refinement. A gentleman to his fingernails was he. And one more from Arthur Schwartz. It's a travel log, and we've kind of revised it. It was originally written as Coney Island, and then it was written as Rhode Island, but we're going to, since Brooklyn is the star today, Brooklyn is the subject of this travel log here. Every place has something its Rotary Club can boast of, something that the place possesses the most of. Brooklyn is busy, but oh my, it has a product anyone would buy. Copper comes from Arizona, peaches come from Georgia, lobsters come from Maine. The wheat fields are the sweet fields of Nebraska, and Kansas gets bonanzas from its grain. Oh, whiskey comes from old Kentucky, ain't the country lucky? New Jersey gives us glue. But you come from Brooklyn. Little old Brooklyn is famous for you. Cotton comes from Louisiana, gophers from Montana, spuds from Idaho. They plow land in the cow land of Missouri, where most beef meant for roast beef seems to grow. Grand Canyons come from Colorado, gold comes from Nevada, divorces also do. But you come from Brooklyn, and sturdy old Brooklyn is famous for you. Pencils come from Pennsylvania, vests from West Virginia, and tents from Tennessee. They know mink where they grow mink in Wyoming. A camp chair in New Hampshire, that's for me. And minnows come from Minnesota, coats come from Dakota. So why should you be blue? For you come from Brooklyn. That state of mind called Brooklyn is famous for you. Well, when it comes to the golden age of popular song, there's just too many to do. So in Betty Comden, Brooklyn Betty Comden's words, the party's over. It's time to call it a day. Never any danger of running out of songs. We've only limited by time, I guess. Where is the time all gone to? Haven't done half the songs I want to. Oh well, we'll catch up some other time. Well, in going through these and all these great personalities in this place called Brooklyn, we visited a few favorite old spots and hopefully evoked a few good memories. The Esplanade and the Heights in Prospect Park, Abbott's Field, the Bums, Canarsie, Coney Island, even Mae West's tomb in Cypress Hills. Whatever it is, it all adds up to that place that many, many people call home. Home is the place where the world was young and life was full of hope and everything was exciting and new and time moved slowly and each moment was full of dreams for the future. Brooklyn's no exception. We forever claimed her when we proudly named her the Brooklyn Bridge. Everyone's sincerer as you're getting nearer the Brooklyn Bridge. I used to spend my childhood watching the ships and dreaming of trips I would take. Used to travel to some faraway clime till it was time to awake. If you've been a rover, journeys and lies over the Brooklyn Bridge. Don't let no one tell you that I'm trying to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. You'll miss her most when you roam, 'cause you'll think of her and think of home, that good old Brooklyn Bridge. And there you have it. A little tour of Brooklyn through many songs, many personalities. Really a remarkable place. And hope you enjoyed it. This is one of, as I said, 75 different lectures in song. You can read about all of them at Fred Miller Music. And look forward to hearing from you. Please email me anytime, Fred@Fred Miller Music. And any reason you have to use any one of these 75 lectures in song, by all means, be very happy to accommodate. I love doing these, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much, and I look forward to the next time, wherever that may be. Take care.